Hey guys, Martin here bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we're going to be doing the team building guide for the AGL, LR, Krillin and Gohan EZA that comes out in a few hours on both versions of the game. So this, of course, the two Namek Saga LR EZAs, these guys, and the Int Exchange Vegeta. Global, of course, is also getting the STR Videl EZA, and all of these come out at the same time, which is 6 AM UK time, Tuesday morning, so late Monday evening if you're in Pacific US. I think it's like 10 PM, right? And then 1 AM of what is technically Tuesday morning if you are in Eastern time. So I'm not sure the order that they're going up in as I'm recording them now, but all three guides will be going up in the few hours before the event's release. And yeah, as always, we are going to go over the top picks and honorable mentions for putting a team together to beat the LR EZA. LR EZAs are, of course, 10 stages, 3 stones for beating each stage, a mission that gets you 3 stones for beating stage 7, so 33 stones in total. And the name of the game, as always with the LR EZAs, is getting the legendary power link active in order to do more damage. And of course, the bonus category for the LR EZA for Krillin and Gohan is Dragon Ball Seekers. So when it comes to LR EZAs, the bonus category essentially allows units to take less damage. So the more, like, if you have non-Dragon Ball Seekers characters, they will take a lot more damage from the boss. And in order to do damage, you need to have the legendary power link active. So you want to prioritize as many LRs on the team as you can while using Dragon Ball Seekers characters. You can brute force your way through some of these EZAs just by using a strong team of powerful LRs like Beast Gohan, who are very, very strong defensively, despite the fact that they will be taking a load of extra damage. But you have to be aware that it's only really the strongest, like, defensive characters that can stand up to those kind of things, right? Like I've tried in the past, like when I was trying to farm up my old JP account and I was trying to do some of the LR EZAs from the 9th anniversary, I was using like teams with like the LR Super Saiyan 4s and a couple of other like strong LRs, and they were taking insane damage from normal attacks, right? Even on turn 1 with their guard, because they're not in the right category. So whilst it is possible to brute force your way through with a strong LR team, I would say you do probably just want to try and build it around Dragon Ball Seekers, just to make it that little bit easier on yourself. So as always with the team building guys, we will be going through my top picks and honorable mentions. If there's any units that I miss out or you think I should have talked more about, do let me know down below in the comment section, but we will go ahead and jump in. So first things first, the leader. So we have the old school Int GT trio, the Goku, Pan and Trunks. They, of course, have an EZA, so their leader skill for Dragon Ball Seekers is 4 key and 177%. So, obviously, a very, very good leader skill to have. This is, you know, one of the easiest ways to do the EZAs is to use the actual category lead, because then you don't have to worry about who matches up with 170s plus 30s and all that kind of stuff, right? You just use a leader that uses the category, and then you don't have to worry about who else to put on the team and whether they match up to those leader skills, right? You can just use these guys as the leader, and then any Dragon Ball Seekers characters will be getting the 177% and 4 key. They're not like a crazy unit anymore. I mean, they got decent defense raising on their super attack effect. You know, they actually are stronger with more Dragon Ball Seekers allies on the team, which obviously we will be having here. They get extra key and crit chance when all allies in the turn are Dragon Ball Seekers. So they can be pretty solid here. They're not going to be like a slot 1 unit, but they are certainly going to be a decent unit on the team and probably one of the better leaders as well. So next up we have the LR Bulma. So LR Bulma, obviously for this case, she is STR, but obviously she's very strong defensively. She has guard early on anyway. She leads Dragon Ball Seekers for 4 key and 150, which is a little bit lower, but she is a very, very strong unit. You could run her on your team with a higher leader skill leader and then use a friend version of her as well, potentially, because she gives support for 2 turns if you're picking up 5 key spheres with her. So having 2 of them on the team means you could be getting a ton of extra support. Obviously, you're not really going to see her active skill, as it is turn 7, and EZAs usually don't go longer than 4 turns unless you are having to run a slightly weaker version of the team. But Bulma definitely can be a solid unit to bring on here, giving support, good defensively. Obviously, if you get the 7 orbs, she does an additional super as well, although of course she will be relying on crits in order to do damage against these guys, as they are AGL. But definitely a top pick for the team for the support and utility. We also have the Tech Pan. Now of course she's only a TUR, but she leads Dragon Ball Seekers for 170 and then also gives a plus 30% to GT heroes. So any GT Dragon Ball Seekers that you bring are obviously going to get the full 200% leader skill. She can be good, builds up attack, obviously not being an LR, so you do want to try and prioritize LRs on the team so that you can have legendary power active. But Pan definitely can be good. If you don't have any other choices for a leader, it's better to have 1 or 2 TURs on the team, if it means you're getting like a higher leader skill or you're getting a unit that gives a ton of support, and then just fill out the rest of the team with LRs so that you can get legendary power active as much as possible and get those get that extra damage in there. So that is the Tech Pan. Then we have the Dragon Ball Saga Goku. I thought we would put as a leader here because he leads Dragon Ball Saga Youth or Exploding Rage, but gives 30% to Dragon Ball Seekers. A lot of the units that we're going to talk about for these Dragon Ball Seekers like choices for the team are Dragon Ball Saga characters. So this guy would obviously be giving a full 200% leader skill to the entire team. He can do pretty decent damage, and of course if you are picking up the 7 orbs with him, he gives everybody on the rotation 8% damage reduction, which is also very, very good. So if you find yourself when putting together the team that a lot of the units that you're going to bring are Dragon Ball Saga characters, then this guy could be a really good option as the leader instead of one of the others, as he will still then be giving the entire team a full 200% leader skill. Next up, we have the LR Pilaf Trio, obviously the previous World Tournament LR reward. We now have a new one. They have a leader skill for Dragon Ball Seekers, which is only 130% if you really are stuck for an option for the leader. But these guys can be good on the team. They're relatively solid, like free-to-play LR. They get a bunch of different buffs depending on what type of orbs you pick up and how many orbs you pick up. They can get an additional super if you get 7 orbs. So these guys can be pretty good. I mean, Dragon Ball Saga works well together as a cohesive team because even some of these random units, like these guys might not share some of the same unit links that like Goku will have, for example, but most of them will have the Incredible Adventure, Guidance of the Dragon Balls. A lot of these, like especially the free-to-play LRs, have Shattering the Limit, so they do share quite a lot of links on the team. So these guys will be very, very useful as well. Then we have the Demon King Piccolo. So of course he just got his EZA with this World Tournament that's on right now, because it's technically still on because of the extension on Global. It has finished on JP, of course. So if you have enough of the Hercule signatures without having to wait for the rewards to be given out on Wednesday, you can already EZA this guy. He will transform immediately when there is a Dragon Ball Seekers enemy, which the Gohan and Krillin are. So he will immediately transform into the young Demon King Piccolo, where he has 66% damage reduction for the first few turns. Of course, he does not get, depending on how you build the team, the extra defense and dodge chance from having a full Extreme Allies rotation. But if you are building a Dragon Ball Saga based team, even though this guy isn't going to get his full potential, the fact that he is a tech LR for this event against an AGL legendary EZA, I think he is still a very, very good choice, right? He fits very well on that Dragon Ball Saga team. And like I say, Dragon Ball Saga, I think, is probably the most optimal way to put together a Dragon Ball Seekers team for this particular event. So I don't know why one of those pages is being weird, but I guess we're going to get to it eventually. So that was Demon King Piccolo. Then we have the LR One Piece, as people like to call them, right? The Goku, Krillin, and Bulma that have the animated art with the pirate aesthetic. These guys, again, just a tech LR. Very, very good for this event. Very good on this team, right? Get lots of buffs with Dragon Ball Saga and Earthbred Fighters allies. So just fit perfectly well on a Dragon Ball Saga build for this event. They're an LR, they've got type advantage. Perfect for the team. They have the active skill condition, facing only one or more enemy whose HP is 50% or more, or when all allies in the same turn are superclass Dragon Ball Saga characters. So depending on how you build the team, you can just use that straight away on turn 1. gives them a bunch of dodge and disables enemy action. Like, just makes getting through those phases a little bit quicker, because Extreme Z battle fights are usually fairly short, but anything like this can be used to make it a little bit easier, so these guys can be very good as well. Then we have the physical LR Yamcha, so another one of the World Tournament EZAs, again a Dragon Ball Saga character. This guy is actually really good. Like, on the Dragon Ball Saga team, we did a run, I think it was during the World Tournament weekend event, shout out to everyone that came out to that. We did a randomizer run versus, I think it was Blue Gogeta, and we ended up having to use Dragon Ball Seekers, so basically made a Dragon Ball Saga team. And this guy was hitting like 20 odd million attack stats and stuff. So in this event in particular, where you don't have to worry too much about the enemy suddenly clapping back at you with like a 3 million damage super, this guy will be really, really good and can do a ton of damage. So definitely a solid choice for the team. Then we have the... who's up next? Yeah, these guys. Oh, of course. Yeah, the old Super Battle Road LR. The Kid Goku and Bulma riding the dinosaur. Again, this is just another option to put in the team if you want to build a Dragon Ball Saga team that are all Dragon Ball Seekers, that are all LRs. These guys, obviously not meta relevant anymore for really difficult content, but will be perfectly fine in this event. They get extra buffs if there is a Kid Goku or a Bulma in the turn, which we've obviously talked about a few of those already. So these guys can be another really good addition to the team. Now, outside of Dragon Ball Saga, I wanted to mention this guy, of course, the Tech Ginyu, there's the Physical Ginyu, and of course there's the new LR Ginyu as well. The entire Ginu Force team members are all on Dragon Ball Seekers. So technically you can just run you could run the full Ginu Force team. Like, you could run AGL Ginyu, you can run any of the LRs that you have, fill out the team with the other free-to-play units, or obviously like the STR, Rakuman Guldo, the Int Jason Berta that gives support. You could straight up just run a full Ginu Force team, which is a good option for some people, of course, because a lot of those characters are just the free-to-play ones. The Tech LR you get for farming the free-to-play team. So the Ginu Force is definitely a solid option, as they are all Dragon Ball Seekers characters as well. And then we do have another LR, the Tech Great Ape Vegeta. So, of course, being Tech, being a Dragon Ball Seeker, being an LR, so he's got legendary power, it would seem like a perfect choice for the team. Obviously, he doesn't gel well with like the DB Saga units, or if you're running a DB Saga lead, but if you're running a general Dragon Ball Seekers leader, this guy can be decent in slot 1, has the guard, gets a buff when he gets hit, and obviously we're fighting an AGL character anyway, so this guy can be useful on the team. He obviously just doesn't really fit super well with some of the other characters that we have talked about so far already. And then in terms of, I think I put a couple of TURs at the end. If you don't have the LR Bulma, there is the Tech one with the EZA that is quite good. Obviously, she's got type advantage, has the potential for the damage reduction, can recover HP with Rainbow Orbs, which is always good, considering you can't use items in an EZA. So yeah, she can certainly be a solid TUR option for the team. And also, just a shout out, honourable mention to the Videl, the side banner unit from part 2 of the Worldwide Celebration. She supports Dragon Ball Seekers and Earthbred Fighters characters. So again, even if you are running a lot of Dragon Ball Saga units, if you're running a leader that is just Dragon Ball Seekers, she can be on the team, and she will be supporting all of those units as well, because even though they are all DB Saga units, they are Dragon Ball Seekers units as well. So she will be giving them support. So she could be a worthwhile unit to run. You could set up your team so that you have like your main rotations. You know, you've got a few LRs on the team, and then a TUR like Videl providing them support just makes them hit that little bit harder and finish off the phase a little bit quicker, because it's okay to have a TUR or 2 on the team. You don't want to have too many TURs, so you get into the situation where you get like turn 1 of the fight load in and you've got, you know, only 1 LR on the rotation, so then you can't get legendary power active. But if we go back to the Dragon Ball Seekers category, there's the free-to-play LR Goku and Arale as well, who also count as Dragon Ball Saga. Like, Dragon Ball Saga, you can basically make a full team of LRs. So Dragon Ball Saga, I think, is definitely the #1 way to go. Didn't really mention any of the STR LRs outside of Bulma, just because of the type disadvantage. Obviously, the Exchange Goku and Vegeta are on there as well, so if you've done their EZA first, you could use them on this team, but obviously they're on the Namek Saga, like the Great Ape Vegeta's on the Saiyan Saga. Like, there's not a lot of crossover between some of these other characters and then the DB Saga ones. And then there are a lot of TURs. There's a lot of like random villain characters, like obviously like Tech Transforming Frieza. He has type advantage, although he's just a TUR. There's units like Toa, Garlic Jr. There's a bunch of like random TURs. So I think what you ideally want to do is figure out which is your best leader, whether you want to run a DB Saga team or if you're going to run like the GT Trio. Put on as many LRs as you can that you have that are Dragon Ball Seekers, and then if you have to fill out any of those last slots with TURs, I would prioritize like support units like the Videl, or, you know, units like Toa, Garlic Jr., Frieza. But I would say Dragon Ball Saga is probably your best bet for the strongest version of a Dragon Ball Seekers team, as it can be made basically with full LRs. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Like I said before, if there's any units you think I should have talked about in more detail for why they would be good in this Extreme Z battle, do let us know down below in the comment section. And do let me know down there in the comments as well what your team build is going to be for the Gohan and Krillin Extreme Z battle. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ninja. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.